Hello and welcome to another episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club. This is a every other Monday video series where I take a look at something from the world of anime that interests me and might interest you. And I lied there. This isn't Pat Baer's Anime Club. I fooled you. It's actually Pat Baer's Manga Club. That's right, we're talking manga in this video. And specifically, we're talking about chill slice of life manga. Because, you may not know this, there's all kinds of slice of life manga out there. Because it is just like personal stories and a day in the life kind of manga, and then also anime and light novels and web novels and all that. But not every slice of life is chill. Like Laid Back Camp is chill, but like, oh man, there's so much drama and be like Hari Yoridango is a. I'm not going to retake that. Hari Yoridango is a slice of life, but that is just basically like a soap opera that happens to be an anime. So not every slice of life, because sometimes we're just like, hey, here's the aftermath of Lost Love, or like, here's a beautiful series where we keep flashing back to the happy moments, but then we also return to the present where it is not as happy, and you're like, oh, and it's like a good kind of oh. That's not this. This is all bangers, and by bangers I mean chill as hell and cool as hell. Some of them have anime adaptations, some do not. Our first one does. It's Flying Witch. Look, the Flying Witch manga is just more Flying Witch. If you watch the one season that has been animated and you want more Flying Witch, you should also see that. I've talked about it on like my Halloween series that isn't spooky and my chill anime video in this series. Flying Witch Rules is just the story of like an apprentice witch who wants to be a full-fledged witch and her shenanigans with her family, and by shenanigans I mean just like mandrakes. And okay, this is what I've said about Flying Witch. There is an episode of Flying Witch where the gang flies on their brooms and they investigate a ancient whale that has that apparently at some point had a civilization living on it. And it's this big discovery and very cool. And then they also go home and have pancakes. And both the whale and pancakes are equally enjoyable and important. That's Flying Witch. They meet a ghost and a fox that is apparently a spirit, and everyone's just like, hell yeah. It is chill and lovely and great. And totally worth checking out. I said the anime is wonderful, and then like I said, the manga here, there's just more. It's just more the further adventures. Totally worth taking a look at. Let's talk about Yotsuba. Yotsuba does not have an anime adaptation. One of the characters, a side character, has like a short or a series of shorts. But yeah, basically, this is the creator from the creator of Azumanga Daioh. You can probably tell by the art style. That got an anime adaptation, which is very good. And the creator, whose name is Azuma. Azuma was just like, it would ruin the magic of it if it was like animated, so I won't let that happen. So if you want to read this, I recommend it. This is like a precocious, weird, fun girl moves, and then things happen because of that. But not really like things, capital T, things, lowercase t. Just fun events. It's just all about character interactions. It's a quick, easy read, a breezy read. Breezy and chill are going to be words I use a lot in this video. It's just really great. It's just like daily adventures of a fun, cool character and interacting with the world around her. And it's just like, occasionally it like, you know, it's Azuma, so like occasionally it is like, okay, well, you don't know what you're talking about there. Well, you're a little too precocious in this moment. That's my general feeling about it. But overall, just a lovely, lovely series and a good time. Totally worth checking out. You're looking at this character and you're going, maybe it's because of Azumanga Daioh, but maybe I've just seen like reaction GIFs or reaction images of like this character saying like, no. Like, you know this. You may not have read Yotsuba, but you know this. Also, it's Yotsuba, like, and exclamation point, and I just call it Yotsuba. I'm just going to go with that. Okay, let's talk about Nanan Biori. Talking about like a precocious girl. We only got Renge. I've talked about Nanan Biori. The entire series has the manga was adapted to an anime. There's a movie. You can watch all of it. I believe that you kind of have to jump between High Dive and Crunchyroll, or you could watch some of it on Crunchyroll and all of it on High Dive, including the movie. So you can just do that, and I recommend it. I mean, I'm talking about in this video. It's Nanan Biori. I've championed it. Its final season. It made my top 10 list. This is a beautiful, lovely, weird, silly series about some girls living out in the countryside that all go to the same school, even though they're different ages, and interact with one another. And you get to see character growth, and you get to meet the other people in their lives. And it is, if you are interested in a female-focused slice of life, I will say this. Two girls there on the right, their brother is in the show, does not speak a word, does not have dialogue, barely has any scenes. This is a female-led series. There are some male characters, but they are not important to what's going on. Totally worth checking out. Very silly, very fun. Obviously super chill. It made this list. Totally enjoyable. I've talked about it before. Here's one I have not talked about before because this is not silly, but it is chill and fun. Hira Yasumi is it's kind of an odd couple and kind of not. But basically, like, guy inherits a house. His cousin is going to school and moves in. And it's just like awkward. So it's not like, I don't want to keep reading awkward. It's not like, I can't do this anymore awkward. But it is like, I just want the best for both these characters. I just want these two to like push forward. This is a series that like I've read slowly. I've savored it. But yeah, this is as far as I know, does not have an anime adaptation. I don't believe it's in line for one. But this is a show that or series, I should say, that is the most grounded of anything I'm talking about here, because there have been obviously some Flying Witch fantastical element. The next manga I'm going to be talking about, fantastical element, sci-fi fantasy element. This, none of that. This is just like two people who are like roommates now and trying to figure it out and didn't necessarily set out to be family, but we'll see what happens. And it is enjoyable. And the awkwardness is not like over the top. Like, I could include like Gal and Dino on one of these lists. That Gal and Dino is pretty chill, but like Gal and Dino is a comedy series that doesn't take it, that like has a good time, right? This is like, I guess we're having a good time here. It's more about like, let's just try to get through our daily lives. Very enjoyable. That's Hira Yasumi. Hirayasumi. All right, let's get into this one here. This video is going to be a little shorter than some of my other ones because some of my Pat Baer's Anime Club videos have been long. Obviously, it's Pat Baer's Manga Club, I should say. So this won't be as long as some of my other videos because I've been doing like 40, 50-minute videos lately, and I don't want to do all of those. I want to mix it up. So this one's a little shorter, so it might seem like I'm flying through this. Okay, so let's talk about the closest thing to something that might be sad, but is probably a little bit more melancholy than anything else. That is, I want to pronounce this properly, Yokohama Karashi Kiko. Now, you're saying, Pat, I've watched an OVA of this, or I've watched a video about someone discovering and trying to up-res the only OVAs they can find of this. Yes, there have been short OVAs that were made of this, but not a full anime season. But also, I didn't set up to make, this isn't a list of chill slice of life that doesn't have an anime adaptation. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying this doesn't have a full one. I don't know if it ever would, because that's an android, and it's the post-apocalypse. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, there's not a lot of humans, and they're just kind of, like, living out their lives. And basically, like, hey, there were some humans. They were at this cafe. That's not happening anymore. Now we've got Alpha, this android just like kind of living their life existence, and it's about people just like it. It is not immediate. It is not the fallout of the apocalypse. This is post. This is not necessarily rebuilding. It's more just like the accepting the reality of it and having, like I said, some melancholy here and there. But there are other series obviously that deal with this that I think revel in the sadness and revel in the like. Let's take a look at the last gasping moments of humanity, the failure. And this is just like, I don't know, there's beauty in the world. That's kind of it, you know, like I didn't want to talk about Kino or something like that, which is beautiful, but like does have that sadness behind a lot of it, right? This is the beauty in seeing what's left. And it is a quiet read. I think it is a read where you're savoring the pages. I think the art is beautiful. And when you're done with it, wherever you stop with it, I think you'll want to pick it back up. And it might take a little while. It might be affecting. And there's nothing wrong with affecting. Chill slice of life doesn't just have to be popcorn. It doesn't just have to be, that was fun. Okay, what's next? That was a warm-up before I get into the heavy stuff. It can be a lot. And it can feel like a full, complete experience. And even though this wasn't the longest Pat Baer's Anime Club, I hope that you, or I should say Pat Baer's Manga Club, the chill slice of life manga, I hope that you took away something you want to look up. Maybe even it's just like, finally you're going to watch Nana Biori because I won't shut up about it. Or you're going to check out Flying Witch because I, again, won't shut up about it. Or maybe it's going to be one of the other series. Maybe there's something I talked about today you've never heard of that you want to investigate, see if there's something that you'd be interested in. I want to hear from you. Have you watched the anime I've chatted about here? Have you read any of the manga I've talked about? Do you disagree with something that's on my list? You're like, Pat, that is not chill. I am not interested in engaging with that. Or is there a chill slice of life manga that you were like, hey, have you read this, or have you watched, have you read this? Have you heard of this? Should I check this out? Or this is my favorite. Like, let me know. I do want to hear from you because I am just one person, and this is not objective. This is all subjective. So I'd like to hear from you in the future for Pat Baer's Manga Club, which is really Pat Baer's Anime Club. I know what I am shooting for my next video. If you made it to the end of this, leave a like, leave a comment. Like I've been asking for comments, suggestion for a future video. I believe the next one I'm going to be making is going to be the history of visual novels, because like, what's up? They are so well tied with anime as being source material. And I feel like there are people from the video game side of it that have had a lot to say about visual novels, but from the anime side of it, like, at the very least, let's talk about like very successful anime that have their roots in visual novels. You know, we're going to get into it. And it'll probably be more like a primer. It might be a anime that started off as a visual novel. That might be my thing. Or it might be like, why are visual novels and anime so connected to one another? I'm not exactly sure the angle I want to start on that. Instead of just like a list format, it might be more of a history of. I haven't fully decided, but that is the next video that I'll be doing. But I do want to hear from you. What are you liking this season as well? I talked about all of the isekai in my last video out this season. What are you enjoying? I'd like to hear from you as well, because I probably have a recommendation video that I want to get out there before the season ends. Thanks so much for watching this. I'll see you on the next episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club. Goodbye.